Including the MSC, there are other eco-labeling related programs or organizations in the world. You can see the MSC or WWF in the slide. Also in the US, you can see the Fish Choice. That is also the independent sustainable organizations. And the Seafood Watch, they are also the independent international sustainable organizations. So many kinds of organizations, they are promoting sustainable fisheries in the world. Also in the aquaculture as well. So the forest bird, they are increasing forest and bird natures. Global and the Seafood Ratings Alliance, also increasing sustainable development of aquaculture. This is a huge international movement you can see. Sustainability of fisheries aquaculture is nowadays is the most important concept in the fisheries and aquaculture. The chart in this slide shows the current status of MSC program. The fisheries in the 34 countries are engaged with the MSC program, and almost 11% of wild-caught global seafood landing is MSC certified or in assessment. As of 2014, the more than 3,500 seafood with the MSC eco-label were on sale in Germany. As you can see, there are many products with the label on sale in many European countries. As of 2014, number of certified fisheries are 216 and 111 fisheries are in assessment. You can see in the picture in the map, international map, the green means MSC, the seafood is sold or exported. Without the green, no MSC programs. What you can see is many countries already certified with MSC, which means they are promoting sustainable fisheries and aquaculture. Already I mentioned, European countries, the sales of sustainable seafood with the MSC logo eco-labels are increasing nowadays, which means that if you want to export the seafood to European countries without the sustainable eco-labels, you cannot export your seafood anymore. That's why nowadays in the many other countries like Korea, China, Vietnam, we want to be certified with the sustainable fisheries. Then we can export. We can increase the markets, international markets. This is a big movement. So and in the future, you have to see the change of the markets and the international markets with the sustainable fisheries. As you can see in this chart, the number of MSC products is increasing very rapidly and reach more than 37,000 products in 2018. Not only in Europe countries, but also in the United States, Canada, Italy, Japan, we can see the growth on the volume of sustainable seafood with the MSC eco-labels. This is a huge change. When you produce your seafood, if you want to consume in the domestic market, you don't worry about sustainable seafood. That's all. But you want to export your seafood to other countries, you have to pay attention to sustainability of the fisheries with the eco-labeling programs. Very important movement nowadays. You need to recognize you have to clearly understand the importance of sustainable fisheries with the eco-labeling programs. This is an ASC program. It's like an MSC program in aquaculture. MSC stands for Marine Stewardship Council. ASC means Aquaculture Stewardship Council. There are 351 certified aquaculture farms in only Asia and 316 farms in the European countries. You see that internationally, the aquaculture farms, they want to be certified with the ASC Sustainable Aquaculture. This is a huge movement in aquaculture. Just the traditional way to produce more in the aquaculture seafood, that is not effective anymore nowadays. No good sign in the market how to maintain the sustainability of aquaculture. That is the most important trend internationally. That's why sustainably certified farms are increasing over time significantly. European countries, why they are certified? Because they want to export or they want to sell their seafood in the European countries market. What about the Asian countries? Why 351 farms got certified? Why? Because they want to increase their export to the European and United States market. It's a new international movement. You see that also in the South America countries like Chile, they are increasing sustainable certifications. The same reason they want to increase international markets. They want to increase seafood export to the other countries. Also, there are almost 936 certified farms across 36 countries. You can see that Vietnam has the most certified farms in the world. Why? Why? They are increasing certified farms. As you may know, Vietnam is a main exporting seafood countries. In order to increase their seafood export, certification of sustainable seafood is necessary. That's why they increased certified farms. So in the over 36 countries, they already got certified with the sustainable fisheries and aquaculture. If you see in the lecture, what is your situations in your own country? Will be certified for the aquaculture and the fisheries products? You have to pay attention to this sustainable program from now. This table shows the labeling status of ASC, Aquaculture Stewardship Council. It's aquaculture sustainable certification. Over 1.7 million tons of farmed products are sold with the ASC eco labels in the world. Among this, almost 1 million tons of salmon is sold with the label, which occupies 40 to 41% of global production. Also, there are 310 farms in assessment to get the ASC labels. The main exporting aquaculture target species like salmon, abalone, oyster, shrimp, tilapia, freshwater trout, sea bass, sea bream. They already got certified for this sustainable seafood. You may be surprised at seeing this table and this lecture. Sustainable development of fisheries aquaculture is the main core concept in the world nowadays. If you don't follow those trend movements, your aquaculture industry, a fisheries industry, will not grow anymore. The same things in Korea. If we develop Korean fisheries and aquaculture, we also pay attention to this sustainable program, eco-labeling programs. Including this ASC, there are also many eco-labeling related programs, organizations in the world. You can see the WWF. You can see the Good Practice, GSA, Aquaculture. Also, you can see the Fish Choice, Seafood Watch. They are mainly focused on developing sustainable seafood, sustainable fisheries, and aquaculture. If you don't follow their recommendation, their guidance, your fisheries and aquaculture cannot be successful in domestic market as well as international markets. That's why I'm emphasizing its importance. This is another story. Also, there are many partners of ASC and the MSC in the world, including founding partners such as WWF. You can see many famous world distributors such as IKEA, McDonald's, Hyatt, Hilton, and so on. These partners announced that they will sell and buy certain portion of ASC and MSC labeled seafood out of their total sales. The McDonald's, they already announced that we will only handle eco-labeled seafood. Otherwise, we will not buy uneco-labeled seafood. Hilton Hotel, Hyatt Hotel, the biggest hotel chain in the world, they already announced that we will buy only eco-labeled sustainable seafood. IKEA, the most famous furniture company, furniture distributor, they already announced that. In the seafood corner, they will only handle or buy the sustainable seafood. You can see the Aeon. Aeon is a Japanese convenience store. It's the biggest one in Japan. They also announced that they will handle only sustainable seafood with eco-labels. This is a huge movement in the world. If you want to sell your seafood to the IKEA and the McDonald's, you have to be certified. Otherwise, you cannot sell your seafood to those distributors, wholesale markets. This is the current situations. IKEA has internationally, they have 300, almost 80 stores, branches in the 47 countries. IKEA decided to include certified seafood on the menu in every one of its restaurant and bistros. As I mentioned already, Hilton Hyatt hotel chain already announced long-term commitment of using sustainable fisheries and aquaculture with ASC, MSC logo. Hyatt Hotel already committed to source 50% of its seafood from sustainable fisheries by 2018. Many distribution companies such as McDonald's, Shows, the Whole Food already announced the collaboration with the ASC or MSC, the programs. It means that the sustainability of seafood and aquaculture is getting more important. Internationally, movement is very strong. We cannot avoid those movements. Without commitment, we cannot be successful in development of fisheries and aquaculture. Korea is the same things now. The government is starting to recognize the importance of sustainable fisheries. It's a new movement in Korea as well, like in your country. They didn't know that. Well, now, just they recognized the importance of sustainable fisheries movement. These pictures were taken at the market in Europe. There was a separated section for MSC products, and many MSC products were displayed. They have different markets. They have a different section in the corner within the store. The people, consumers, can recognize, oh, this is a sustainable seafood. I will buy this seafood more than unsustainable seafood. So in seeing this eco-label, consumers can recognize, okay, I want to keep the fish stock biomass in the ocean. I want to clean the environment of the ocean. I will buy sustainable seafood. This is a new consumers' behavior and the movement internationally. This movement is much stronger in European countries nowadays, but it is expanded to Asian countries including China and Japan and Korea. So we want to increase export. This sustainable program is unavoidable. It's a necessary one, like requirements. These pictures were taken at the market in Japan. They have in the special section. This is in the separated section for MSC products, and many MSC products were displayed. So in the Japanese consumers, they can recognize sustainable fisheries in the market. They can pay attention more to sustainable fisheries and increase their buying for sustainable fisheries. I went to Seafood Expo Global at Brussels in 2019, last year. There were so many fisheries, seafood suppliers as buyers and sellers. Among them, there was MSC booth, which promotes MSC program and the products. As you can see in the picture, on the right side, there were lots of MSC products across the world. They are in the middle of this expo. What about the other countries' situation? I will show you the pictures. Also, the many suppliers put the emphasis on the eco-labels. You can see the eco-labels there on the wall. Why? They paid attention to these eco-labeling schemes, programs. Again, as I mentioned before, in order to increase export, in order to increase markets, in order to increase the value of their seafood, they paid attention to sustainable program with the eco-labels. Can you see the logos of many certification on the board? You can see the ACC label there. We can notice that the certification play very important role on the international trade of fisheries products. Very, very important. I was surprised also when I saw this movement last year. It's a huge movement. This picture was taken at the markets in the small town around Brussels, the city named as Louvain. Even though it was a small town, there were lots of sustainable, certified and seafood at the market. You can see the ASC logos there. It's a real movement in the real market. Also, I participated in the Seafood Future Forum in Brussels as a discussion panel. There were many panelists from different countries and had a diverse background. The guy on the left is from cooperatives in Switzerland, and the guy on the right side of me is from Thai Union, which is famous for fisheries producers. We discussed the current seafood market situations, the future of sustainable seafood. All participants insisted that sustainable seafood market would be much bigger than now. Now, I will show one Korean sustainable seafood experience. That is seaweed, sea mustard. One of the seaweed is a commercially important species in Korea. It is usually consumed as a soup after birth or on birthday. Also, it is served in various types of, such as in the salad. In 2017, total production value was $105 million US. And $5.2 million US of sea mustard was produced on the Gijang region in 2017. Income from sea mustard aquaculture is a very important source of income for farmers. Furthermore, local economy largely depends on this industry. As I mentioned, sea mustard is consumed in the different types of the dishes. It usually sold after drying, but some of them after just salting. Gijang sea mustard got the SC certification the last year, 2019. Then, why was seaweed certification necessary for Gijang sea mustard? As you can see in the chart, the price of sea mustard is decreasing. Even though the farmers should work at the sea, in the very cold winter, they can get less than $1 by 1 kilogram. So the farmers decided to increase the stocking density to have an increased harvest. However, it caused environmental problems and undermined the sustainability. That's why the farmers seek for another way to increase the farming values and to sustain farming business. In terms of processors, they also got the certification, as you see in the picture on the right side, to increase the revenue. However, none of them worked. Also, despite the superior quality of Gijang sea mustard, it is not differentiated in the market due to fake sea mustard from other reasons. This situation made the processors participate in the eco-labeling sustainable program. They wanted to expand the markets, including exports, and differentiate their products in the domestic market. Gijang sea mustard reached to consumer with this process on the slide. After harvesting sea mustard by farmers, it is sent to processing company. In the processing company, raw sea mustard processed to become different types of products, which you can see in the picture on the lower left side. the processed products reach the final consumer and consumed in the various types of dishes. You can see the baby having sea mustard soup. Can you see that? She's happy now with the sea mustard soup. So, to produce final consumable products, farmers and the processing companies cooperate each other. This is ASC MSC seaweed standard. The standard has 5 principles and 31 performance indicators. To get certified, farms should meet the minimum level of each principles. Otherwise, they cannot be certified. I will tell you the details of principles. Principle 1 deals with the sustainable wild populations. If aquaculture farms affect on the wild stock, they cannot get certified. There are 3 principles: stock status, harvest strategy, and genetic impacts. Assessment is done by scoring issues. Principle 2 deals with environmental impacts. If aquaculture farms affect on environments such as habitat systems and endangered species, they cannot get certified. Principle 3 deals with the management of aquaculture. If there is no appropriate legal or customary framework, decision-making process, and details about compliance and regulations, they cannot be certified. There are 12 scoring issues under 3 principles. Principle 4 deals with the social responsibilities. Principle 4 and 5 are related to human interaction. If there is any child labor, forced labor, discrimination, and the health and safety problem, they cannot be certified. Here are the rest of the principles in Principle 4. You can see the fair and decent wage, freedom of association, collective bargaining, working hours, environmental social training, fair and decent wage, the working hours, environmental awareness and training. If you don't meet this requirement, also you cannot be certified. Principle 5 deals with the community relations and the interaction. If farms have bad influence on local community, they cannot get certified. Here are the rest of the principles in Principle 5. You see that the noise, light, odor. Also, you see that the decommissioning of abandoned fisheries or farm structures. If you don't meet this requirement, you cannot be certified. After Gijang Sea Mustard gets certified last year, MOU for Sustainable Seaweed Business Cooperation was signed at the Seafood Expo 2019 in Brussels. Finally, the Gijang Sea Mustard Farms Processing Company could develop international markets. Their export value was increased by over 100% in 2019. This is a huge growth in sales and the market values. It took almost 2 years to get the certification for this Gijang Sea Mustard. We did a great effort for the certifying ASC MSC seaweed certification, but the outcome is quite successful. International markets, export value was increased by over 100%. Can you believe that? Many people from ASC and MSc World came to celebrate this MOU. It's a huge celebration. It was also a great time to see new opportunity for developing aquaculture in Korea. Now I almost finished my lecture today. I really hope that my lecture would be useful for your understanding on the future fisheries and aquaculture management. If you have any questions on my lecture, do not hesitate to email me. We are already friends, and let's keep in touch. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.